Welcome everyone to the East Brandywine Township Board of Supervisors PM meeting Thursday, July 16, 2026. The recording device will be in use during this meeting, opening with a pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Public comments for agenda items, rules for conduct of public meetings established by Resolution 2001-08. The time allocated for each individual making a comment shall be 3 minutes unless otherwise set by the presiding officer. Additional public comment may be granted at the discretion of the presiding officer at the conclusion of the meeting. Are there any comments for agenda items? Seeing none, we will move on to the minutes of the previous meeting. Looking for the approval of the June 2nd Board of Supervisors meeting minutes. Are there any questions?
No questions. So moved.
A second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, the treasurer's report. I looked over the treasurer's report. We have signing the checks now. Are there any questions on the treasurer's report?
No questions.
I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, township manager's report. Luke?
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. All of my comments this evening are contained in agenda items. I have no additional report.
All right. I will do the building inspector's report. So total building permits for June of 2026 were 41. Total zoning permits were 4. Fees collected for building zoning permits were $130,188.43. Use and occupancy permits issued were 31. Inspections completed were 283. Failed inspections were 5. Other fees collected $402.50. Total fees collected were $130,590.93. All right. This time we will have the Township Roadmaster's report. Derek.
Good evening. I did not include the report for this session. I'm still awaiting details on some of the projects I have ongoing.
All right. Thank you. Next up will be our East Brandywine Township Police report. Jeff?
Thank you, Chairman. I want to start by apologizing to East Brandywine Baptist Church in my written report. I referenced the incorrect church, but we are just want to report we were at their food truck festival. We are very happy to be part of that. It was a great event. The weather wasn't too bad this year. The rain didn't come down too hard. Additionally, we assisted Downingtown Borough Police with Good Neighbor Day, the run and the fireworks. Just want to send my thanks to Downingtown for asking for our assistance and allowing us to be part of the community. And I want to thank all the residents. Our officers are out there stopping at lemonade stands and playing kickball with kids at the park, and it's great to see everyone out, and we're in the area obviously all summer. As for June 2026 stats, we had 2,301 total events, 197 investigations completed, resulting in 10 criminal arrests and 8 summary arrests. We investigated 9 reportable accidents, completed 272 traffic stops, resulting in 133 citations and 39 written warnings, with a total patrol mileage of 8,694 as the patrol division. Additionally, during the month of June, Officer Hayes underwent Veterans Response Training Team. It's a mental health team for veterans of the military struggling with mental health. So he underwent that training and he's part of the team. Additionally, at the time I wrote this report, Officer Spina was nearing completion of FPO. As of today, he is off FPO and is filling shifts. He performed phenomenally throughout his field training, officer training. Additionally, both Officer Sousa and Officer Hayes were selected to interview for the Chester County negotiator team for the SWAT team. So they underwent their interviews and we're waiting to hear back if they made the team. That completes my report, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Jeff. Okay. Next up is the East Brandywine Fire Company report. PJ?
Alrighty, good evening. We had 72 total incidents for the month, 35 fire, 37 medical calls. We had 12 fire and 17 medical in East Brandywine. We had 10 fire and 19 medical in West Brandywine, 5 fire and 1 medical in Upper Euclid. We had an average personnel response of 10 and 21 for major incident types. Fuel usage for the month, we had 240.9 gallons of East Brandywine fuel, 67.9 gallons of West Brandywine fuel, totaling 308.8 gallons. We had a couple small fires for the month. Estimated fire damage was 10,000 in West Brandywine, and we had 1 fire-related injury at one of those fires. Training for the month, we had four trainings with an average personnel of 19 and a half. And total training hours was 168. The only other 2 things I have to add is we also attended the Food Truck Festival. To piggyback off of the chief's report there, it was a great event. The weather did hang on for most of it, so it always seems like it's getting bigger and bigger. So kudos to them. So, and the second thing I have is the DEP just put out the code purple for the air quality. So just bring that to everybody's attention. They just did that like 4 or 5 hours ago. So they're advising young children, elderly, and anyone with respiratory problems they should avoid all physical activities. There's a whole report on it, but those are the ones that you can highlight for the air quality right now. It'll be today and tomorrow as well. So that's all I got.
All right, thank you, PJ. All right, next up is our Minnequist ambulance report.
Good evening. Hopefully everybody's staying cool and hydrated, as well as the air quality of it. So, for June, operations report should have circulated in your packets. Just some highlights from there. Our capital improvement front. Again, we were able to purchase and put in service a replacement ambulance. To put it in perspective, they last about 5 years for us, or 120,000 miles. So it's getting its use. So we appreciate the township's support and the community support in that component. We do have another one on order from Glick, which is our preferred vendor. I think East Brandywine uses them as well. Very new in the area, and that should be here. Hoping to pick it up next Friday. So hopefully next month we'll have a report that it's in service again. Operationally, as you can probably imagine, the impact we're still feeling on the call volume. So that's something we're trending and we're keeping an eye on. And currently in the process of formulating the 2031 plan. I know that seems so far away, but it's only 5 years away. So trying to get ahead of the future and trying to plan for that. Otherwise, we were awarded some grants this past month. We were awarded $2,835 from the PA Skills Game a Chance for CPR mannequins to support that great community outreach program. So that's going to purchase more mannequins for us. And then we were also awarded $17,000 from the county in regards to MSOF funding for patient moving and lifting. So we are out there actively, seeking, alternative funding models, but that's going well so far. Otherwise, operationally, surprisingly, we went to Pottstown in June for the Big Boy. So me personally, I got to see the Big Boy train pass through the area. They had, to put it in perspective, there was a mass casualty incident in Berks County. Pottstown had at least 60 that we know of. Myself and Mike, who usually is here to do the report, we went up there to keep the 3 trucks available in our first due area. because that's what we're here for. We're here for the community, but we're also want to support each other. But again, 60, and we did at least 2 out of that, so our name's getting out there, and it's all positive. So if there's no questions, I'll be seated, but I'll answer questions.
Thank you.
Very good, thank you very much. Okay. So, old business, proposal for security cameras and server upgrades. Derek?
So included in front of you is the same proposal from 2 weeks ago. Mr. Esty, our township solicitor, had a few questions and concerns on the contract associated with the proposal. Those questions and concerns have been highlighted throughout the contract, just for clarity. I'm still waiting to hear back from Pavion and their legal team. That's the only, I left it in the agenda tonight in hopes of hearing back last minute and possibly keeping the ball rolling on the project. I did not intend to read the contract. I feel as though this will probably be tabled again unless Mr. Esty has heard otherwise.
I have not gotten a response.
Well, with that, I would like to thank Mr. Tom Esty for his diligence in the township and taking good care of us and always making sure we're making a good move.
Okay.
I think at this time it'd be appropriate to table this for your AM August meeting, and hopefully we'll be able to move at that time.
All right, so we'll table, item under old business, proposal for security cameras and server upgrade. Any questions on that? Okay. Get it straightened out. Get the needed cameras repaired and replaced. Okay, so we're gonna move on to new business. We have recommendations to appoint Randy Bemke to the Parks and Rec Committee for a term ending 12/31/2029.
Yeah, I'm pleased to report that the Township's Park and Recreation Committee is recommending a township resident to fill a vacancy. It's an unexpired term, hence the reference to a term that is less than 4 years. What I can say about Mr. Bemke is that he has been a longtime supporter of township, specifically Parks and Recreations events, in as much as he's the proprietor of Big Air, which does the movies in the park, the inflatable projector screen, and so he's very familiar with township events, and I appreciate his interest in serving on our volunteer Parks and Recreation Committee. So at this time, if the board is so inclined, it'd be appropriate to make a motion to recommend he fill the unexpired term ending December 31st, 2029.
All right. You have any questions or comments on this appointment? Seeing none, I get a motion to approve. So moved. I'll second. All in favor? Aye. All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Subdivision and zoning applications, there are none. We have ordinances and resolutions for consideration. A, adoption of ordinance 2, 2026, amending the East Brandywine Township Code, CHPT 300 and 399 by adding definitions, amending uses permitted in the CSLI zoning district, and amending supplemental regulations related to data center uses. Luke?
Thank you. This is going to be a tag team approach to the activities tonight. I'm going to do a brief introduction, and then I'm going to rely on the expertise of our solicitor to ensure that we hold a proper hearing and note all the steps taken to properly enact this legislation. In both earlier this month and in June, at both the Planning Commissions and Board of Supervisors meetings, those watching at home will have the benefit of being able to review those videos, so I won't repeat myself. The township has been considering an ordinance that would permit data centers as a use in the commercial services and light industrial zone. subject to a number of restrictions pertinent to that particular use. We have heard feedback from the community, and most recently, the decisions of both the Planning Commission and the Board of Supervisors was to protect the township by moving forward with this draft ordinance, which is in the same form it was first presented in early June. I would note that the Planning Commission, and in particular the Ordinance Task Force Subcommittee of the Planning Commission, has been considering, as recently as today, the feedback we got from the community, and we're very appreciative of those who took the time to put that feedback before both the Planning Commission and the Board of Supervisors. And with that, I'd like to, I suppose as they say, give the balance of my time to Mr. Esty to review, to have a proper hearing on this piece of legislation.
Thank you, Mr. Revan. The proposed amendment is an amendment to chapters 300 and 399. 300 is part of your land use code, which is the definitions section, and 399 is your zoning ordinance. The municipality's planning code requires that you conduct a legislative hearing to explain the nature of the ordinance and also accept public comment. I think the agenda item, which was read by the chair, explains the general nature of the ordinance. It does amend chapter 300 to create definitions of data center and related definitions. It then amends chapter 399 to permit a data center in the CSLI district by conditional use, and then amends chapter 399 to enact standards applicable to data centers. The ordinance has been properly advertised for hearing and enactment. As Mr. Revan indicated, the ordinance was drafted by a Planning Commission committee. It was reviewed by the Planning Commission as a whole, and the Planning Commission recommended enactment of this ordinance to you. The ordinance was also submitted to the Chester County Planning Commission, and that commission submitted comments to the township. So all of the procedural requirements have been met for the hearing and the action on the proposed amendment. So unless there's something else from the board, it would be appropriate to accept any public comment and then entertain a motion to enact ordinance 2 of 2026.
Is there any public comment at this time?
I can't say that. A lawyer will never say that.
Is that any other comment, Mike?
No, sorry, Michael Wagner, 241 Jefferson Road. Sorry, I missed it.
That's okay.
Okay, any other comment?
I'll make a motion to adopt ordinance 2 of 2026.
Okay, I'm going to, before I second that motion, I just want to thank everyone for the hard work they put into preparing this ordinance, and for the feedback and comments that we received from the public. It was very valuable and helpful in understanding how to move forward with this ordinance that we need to do to protect the township. So with that, I'm going to second that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right.
I'm sorry to be pedantic. I heard motion and second, and then was
All
there?
in favor? Aye.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Just for the purposes of the minutes.
I was waiting for you to be pedantic.
I know, irritating is my job.
Okay, so we'll move on to Resolution 8, 2026, Multi-Model Transportation Fund Grant for the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania for Dallin Forge Road Trail. Luke?
As before, I think this can be a tag team effort. We are joined tonight by the chairman of the township's Trails Committee. I know before his departure, Noah Stribney was working with the Trails Committee to develop a application for multimodal funding. Michael, would you please correct if anything I say after this point is incorrect? I'd appreciate your feedback, since I am secondhand to this project.
No problem.
As I understand it, the application requires a letter or a resolution in support of the application, which is the action item before you tonight. Unlike many applications that for grant funding that we put out into the universe, this has no required match. Is that correct? So there is no fiscal note associated with this application. But I will rely on the experts to describe exactly what the scope of work is, if you don't mind, if awarded.
No problem. The scope of work, we decided to pick one of the lower hanging pieces of fruit. We run into some issues moving east towards the Struble Trail, which we were working through. So looking at the comprehensive plan and the comprehensive plan for the east to west trail, we are looking to do McGettigan's existing trail that they put in during their land development 7-8 years ago, and looking to get out towards Rock Raymond Road. That is the extent of what we're looking to do now, only because it's the lowest hanging fruit, and we have seen people walking up and down toward the road to get to McGettigan when they go down the Struble Trail. At this point, it is probably the easiest piece to do, only because of its location and the easements that we own on it already. We're going to run into a little additional trouble moving down towards the, I think it's called the TKO farm now, which used to be the old Fischler farm, and that's one of those environmental issues when we do that. That is not part of this application. We had Panoni work with us to put together the proposal for it, and then also work with the grant application for it.
Any questions?
I will say, for those that don't have a packet in front of them, the amount of the requested funding is $379,490. The body to which we're applying for the funding is the Commonwealth Financing Authority.
See that packet. So the total amount, could you repeat that?
$379,490. And that represents the state's investment with no local match.
Okay. And that's what this grant is all about. Okay? All right. Any questions, Colin?
No questions.
Okay. Get a motion to approve?
So moved.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Lisa, thank you for your help. Appreciate it.
Sure.
Okay, this time, we'll open the floor for public comment on non-agenda items. Hi. Hello.
Just go right into it, Lisa? Yes, please. My name is Julie Cook. I own and run Dovetail Auctions in the center of East Brandywine Township, right on the corner of 282 and High Spire Corner. Some of you may be familiar. We're just trying to do things the right way. My daughter O'Brien, she's the fourth year architecture student at Jefferson and has been working with Mark Meyer since she's about 14 years old and has done the drawings for our proposed addition. We have a barn right on Jim Croce's property with a grain bin attached, and we want to keep the existing walls of the grain bin, add on so that we continue to do our business. We did get a letter from Arrow that we don't quite fit into any of the boxes that they want to put us in, because we're not retail and we're not warehouse. We are an online business with very limited foot traffic. So we want to add on just so we've got more space and we can do our business the way we want to do our business. We want to expand our business. We want to be able to do more business. We're really limited. We did do the stormwater, who helped us with the stormwater management project. And that's it. We're just hoping for some sort of a change in use, because it's it's a whole new age of auctions. We don't have people on the premises. We're not doing cattle calls. We don't have the need for 42 parking spaces, which I think is what Arrow is proposing. History is our passion and our business, and we don't want to pave the paradise of East Brandywine. So we're hoping that some modifications can be made.
And I had asked Julie to come in off the record tonight to try and get something started, some dialogue going. We've had this issue with other residents of the township as well with parking, and figured it would be collectively good if we could all sit and wrap our heads around an idea or a way to do this. Real quick, I was thinking Tom's probably the best person to ask, what directions the board can take, what directions Julie can take, what directions Mika can take. And if I understand this correctly, we have an option of going to Mika and asking Mika to reconsider, and Mika can decide or not decide to reconsider, or the board has an option of amending the ordinance as a second option, and then is there a third or maybe a fourth option?
Well, I think the first two things you mentioned are correct. We could go back to the zoning officer and ask her to reconsider. And I wasn't prepared for this tonight because I didn't know it was on the agenda, but I know Mika, who is the zoning officer, issued a letter about this property. So I think it's fair to go back and say, and I think in that letter, she made a determination about what your use is. Is that correct?
She categorized it as retail.
Right. So I think it's fair to go back, and I can do this if you want me to, and talk to the zoning officer about that determination, and perhaps she would be willing to change that. And then perhaps a different parking regulation would then apply. So that's one option. The other option is to file an application to the zoning hearing board and ask for a variance based on her determination. Now, getting a variance is not guaranteed. The zoning hearing board is an independent body. The board of supervisors don't have any control over the zoning hearing board, which is as it should be. I'm not saying that in a negative way, but there's no guarantee that you will get a variance, and of course there's a cost associated with that and time. And then the other option I think you mentioned is to amend zoning ordinance to try to consider historic properties differently than how they're presently considered.
And if it was for me to make the decision tonight, it's obviously up for you. If it was for me, I would ask the board and our solicitor to go to Mika and start the ball rolling there first. Suggest it. We can only suggest. They're an independent agency as well. And then if that doesn't work, then again, if this was me, my suggestion would be to ask the board to amend the ordinance, and that's going to take a little bit of time, but it's an option. I mean, I'm just speaking for myself. I've been to the property. I also reminded Luke this evening that the township has used your property for many functions. We've had hundreds of cars parked on your lawn. And what's good for us is good for you. And as well as we have situations where we have gravel parking at Bondsville Mill, as I told you when I was at your property, that we utilize as well. So if we do things, I think it's fair to say that you should be able to do things, but
Well, my thoughts are, I mean, I didn't get a chance to read Mika's review letter. I haven't seen it, and it hasn't been provided to me. But understanding that she ruled it as a retail sale, and you have a different unique use there, where it's online sales. You don't have people coming in and out the door. You don't have, even by appointment, you have people picking up items or trucks picking up items, just like Amazon comes to everyone's house every day, right? So I think it's appropriate to have Tom talk to Mika about this and see if there's some fit that we can come up with that would consider online use or online sales off the property. I mean, the facility that you're utilizing, which I think is the barn area of the property. Yeah, so I'm in favor of that. I think that would be a good first step. See if we can't reach Mika on this.
If I may, I think it would be helpful if we had a comprehensive description of your use
Yeah,
in writing, including, you know, what buildings are on the property now, the square footage, you know, how many customers come to the property, and really a description of what you do there in a comprehensive way.
And we do
And-
have, we were referred to a Scott Dillinger attorney who said that he would help me draft up this letter to make things so that I've got all these trees and bushes, and I know that if I wrote it up for you, it would be a little flighty. So we're gonna be efficient about this.
Well, that's up to you. I'm sure you would be the best person to describe what you're doing there.
Well, we just had a sale on an American 250 sale on July 3rd, and it was a fundraiser sale for historic tract. It was a fantastic. Everything was donated. We had an online sale, shipped it. We had no one for preview. We had no one for pickup. It was all shipped, and 100% of the proceeds went to historic tract's mission. My mission is to give back to East Brandywine Township. Right now, we're in a position we can't move. We're trying to do our shipping department and our, you know, everything all in one room, and it's just making it so that we can't do the amount of business that we're able to do if we had more space. So, but we don't want to be retail. We've got no desire to be retail. We want to be in, you know, we want limited foot traffic. We want to invite people in, but we don't want, you know, 9 to 5 in and out all day long.
And that description should include everything, including deliveries, shipping, a total comprehensive description of what you're doing.
Okay.
Thank you.
I can have that by tomorrow morning.
Okay.
Yeah, if I may chime in, this is a case that kind of is at the intersection of three sets of regulations that we do for a reason. We say we want to encourage the adaptive reuse of historic properties, to preserve those historic properties. We say we want to limit new impervious surface and require those that create new impervious surface to manage their impervious surface. And we also want to ensure that when expanded businesses are built, that there's adequate parking on the site so that those uses don't have adverse externalities on their neighbors. In other words, you don't have parking spilling over into neighboring property. The public policy question is, what happens if we're getting A and B and C in exactly as we want it, an adaptive reuse of a historic structure, and we're getting limited additions of new stormwater surfaces. But our other goal says you need to build a giant parking lot. So then you're getting the parking problem fixed, but you're no longer achieving preserve the historic character of the corner, and you're no longer achieving don't create impervious surface. So we have three competing legitimate regulations that are kind of at odds with each other. But what we're describing here is not a business model that it's just a place that's open for retail traffic. It's a business model that until recently was uncommon, and our code does not anticipate that use. So that's me blathering on about the spirit of things. Thank you for humoring me.
well, we all know what we would like to have happen. We'll just have to have Mika revisit your revised interpretation of use and present that to Tom, and have Tom talk to Mika, and we'll see if we can't get this resolved. We'd all like to do that.
Thanks.
All right?
Thank you, Julie.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, y'all.
Okay.
Good evening. With regard to your presentation, with my planning commission hat on and my historical commission hat on, I have to say that I fully support what they're doing. Historical commission appreciates the addition that they're putting onto the barn. It's going to be sympathetic to historic resources there. And I think this whole issue with regard to parking boils down to a definition of whatever use is applied to property. I know for a fact that it is pretty much a warehouse that does online sales. They hold the art, the artifacts, or the antiques there, and they do online auctions, and traffic there is limited to pickup and delivery. They don't need the space that's dictated by the square footage of the barn for a retail use, and that really is the crux of the issue here. It's a use that's assigned.
We won't call it a warehouse.
just was gonna say the
We'll
same
refer to it as a
A
beautiful,
barn.
beautiful
A barn.
historic structure.
Yeah.
Read my mind.
And to be expanded upon in that beauty.
A storage
Because
barn.
knowing Mark Myers and knowing Eve Reel, they put that barn back up, it's gonna be amazing.
And what they're doing there is amazing. So,
Yeah. And we're in full support of, we're in full support of it. But while you're up there, is there anything else you wanna talk about?
There is, with my historical commission hat on.
There you go.
I wanted to report on our participation in the Grade 1 Baptist Church food truck event this past weekend, where we celebrated our nation's 250th anniversary. Last month, I presented to you the winners of our student art contest, and you made your selections for what you thought was the best of the winning group. And we presented the students with their awards at this food truck event. And Francis, thank you. He had the honor of actually presenting the awards to the students. So I
It
appreciate
was very nice, and the kids did an amazing job. You know, we were blessed to have those kids participate in this. It was very nice.
Quite a variety of approaches to the contest, and very high quality artwork. And as I mentioned at the event, it was very hard to make the selections.
Yes, it was.
It was a great experience. We had 62 entries, by the way.
Yeah.
The other thing that we presented at the food truck event was our new timeline. Over the course of this year, we created a timeline for the township's history, and we just finished putting it together in graphic form, and we had that out for display at the event. There's two sides to it, and it's keyed to the 3 items on our township seal. Our township seal includes a mill for industry, a farming field for agriculture, and a Conestoga wagon for transportation. So the items on the timeline that are related to industry are color-coded blue. Those associated with agriculture are color-coded green, and those associated with transportation are color-coded in red, the text. And then those that don't fit into either, any of those 3 categories are in black. We had a lot of interest at the event. There was a lot of interest in the timeline. And the benefits of this, we created this for the 250th anniversary, but this is something that's going to live on, and we will be able to put out for display on future township events.
Yeah,
and
it was very nice. And
additionally, I did a reading of the Declaration of Independence at the event. That was well received, and it was right before the fireworks, so perfect timing, and they had a wonderful fireworks display.
yes, and you also were handing out little pocket declarations of independence to all the kids and a couple adults as well.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty nice. I like that.
And the nice thing about these readings is to remind people that this was one of the primary ways that it was communicated to the public of the colonies immediately after the Declaration was written. That was the way that they heard it. And to really think about the words as they're put forth and what they mean, and imagining yourself a colonists hearing it for the first time, that it really has an impact. So it was
very
good
nice.
event.
All right.
I wanted to report to you on that.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you, Jim. Are there any other comments on non-agenda items? Okay. Seeing none notices, there was an executive session held on July the 2nd to discuss legal matters. All right. We'll get a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, everyone.